In my last vlog style YouTube video about 4 months back, I talked about how I was shifting focus to print my first Iron Man suit, and good to my word, that's exactly what I have here on the floor in front of me. And I wanted to show you the progress, show you what I've been working on, and talk a little bit about why I haven't been doing a lot of intermediate videos on this. So what you see laying before you is an Iron Man Mark 46, Mark 47 armor from Do 3D. And we've got about 75% of a suit here. And this is the almost final work of me working to size this suit as perfectly for my body as I can possibly figure out at this stage in the game. And I wanted to show you, right here is a lot of a Mark 45 suit that I worked on that I just ultimately was not happy with the way that it was modeled, the way it was designed. It had a lot of issues that I wasn't willing to work around and redo a lot of the modeling on. What you're looking at in this pile over here are all of the different Mark 47, 46 pieces that I have done that are not the right size. These were my first goes, and basically this was me trying to figure out what size am I. Now I will tell you, I've been using ArmorSmith for almost all of this process. ArmorSmith is a fantastic tool. You put in all your measurements and you can get a model of yourself that best represents how these things may fit you. Now what I've learned is that can only take you so far. That can get you pretty close, maybe within 5 or 10% of the armor, but that last 5 or 10% is a major, major deal in terms of it being slightly too tall, or slightly too tight, or slightly too loose. I mean, whatever it is, it's not going to be perfect. It's just a model, it's a representation of the human body, and it's not always perfect. So what we're looking at is literally like 4 months worth of work since I shot that last video and presented that to you. And I have just been working so hard to make sure I can move in this, to make sure I'm going to be comfortable in this as possible. And if you have never seen anyone in an Iron Man suit, these things are very rigid. They don't give, they don't move any more than you allow them to, or that the modeler allows them to. And so you're within the confines of the design and of the modeling. And so I have to say, this Do 3D suit, this is their V2 of the Mark 46, Mark 47, and it is an absolutely fantastically modeled suit. And so I've basically just been getting it to fit my body type, and that's the hardest part, I think, of this process. I obviously am not to the further stages of it, but what you see here is me figuring out how things will attach together, how they glue together, how they elastic together, how they fabric together, whatever I think is going to be the best way to attach it. I've used these test prints as a way to really go in to model the suit, to test the ways you attach it to your body, to test the way that they attach to each other, to really learn about how a suit fits. I've learned about myself that I'm a very tactile person. There's really, for me, the digital representation is no replacement for actually building it, putting it on, seeing how it fits you, seeing how you move in it. It doesn't come close to that experience. And so what I've been doing is pretty much using all of my extra spools of filament, all my extra PLA, PETG, whatever I have been laying around in my garage for years. I've used filament that's 5 years old to complete what you see in front of you. It's been a fantastic way to clean up my garage. I've been wanting to clear out all these old spools for years, and this has been a fantastic way of using those spools responsibly, not just printing a bunch of crap, but actually learning about the Iron Man build process and really going through the motions of sizing and fitting and experimenting. And so what you see here on the floor is the suit sized as best as I can to my body. You will see a lot of these pieces have different joining type stuff, which I'll be talking about in a future video. I'll be sort of tackling a lot of the details of building this suit specifically in the future, but this is just a vlog to show you what I have been up to and it has been a lot. One note about Do 3D. So this shoe right here is absolutely beautiful. I think that they have done an amazing job on it. But what you need to know is that when I bought this model, the feet were not right. They were not shaped correctly for human feet. They were angled the wrong way, and they were non-functional the way that I received them from Do 3D. But I will tell you, I took some screenshots. I showed them what I found. I sent that over to Do 3D and I said, hey, this will not work. Can you guys fix this for me? I didn't know what to expect from them. I've bought a lot of models from Do 3D, but I haven't had to interact with them very much in the past. And I will say that Do 3D was absolutely fantastic to work with. They sent me back a revision to this model. It wasn't right either, to be honest. And I sent them back. I said, here's why this one's not right either. Can you take another look? And they said, sure, give us some time and we'll take another look. And this is what they returned to me. And it is fantastic. It has modeling on the bottom of the foot. It has really pretty good cut lines on here. I wanted one thing a little bit different that I didn't get, but overall I say that this is definitely workable. I have some ideas of how I'm going to be able to wear this, I hope, because a lot of Ironmen will use boot covers or just do the top, and I really am trying to do the entire boot experience. We'll see how that goes. I can't make any promises at this point, but I've got some really good ideas. And as you can see, I do have a shoe in here, and so it does fit. And this is actually a 100% scale to what they sent me. So I just wanted to send a shout out to Do 3D because they get a bad rap, or have gotten a bad rap in the community sometimes, but I want to say that my experience with them has been fantastic. I recommend them. Recommend this Mark 46 47 V2. Now, let me take you to a couple of spots in the garage that I wanted to talk about and the next steps in this process. All right, we're gonna start off right here, and this is my ComGrow T500. I talked about it a lot in the last video where I gave the garage tour, and in that video, I believe I mentioned that I had my reservations about this printer because I've just had a tough time getting it working properly. It's had to have a lot of repairs, and overall, it's not been a good experience with this machine, but it's a giant machine, and so I really wanted to utilize it if possible. Well, I'm actually to the point on this machine where I think I am giving up, at least for the time being. I've put a lot of time, I've put a little bit of money, and it's still just not working the way I want it to. Showing you this piece right here. Came off of this because I'm using a Ender 5 Plus build plate on here, because first of all, this is the worst build plate I've ever used. The idea of putting this surface, which is not that great, as a sticker on a spring steel, it was just a bad idea, and it's still, everything either sticks too much or not enough, usually too much, which is worse. Like I said, lots of repairs. As you'll notice, the print head here still doesn't even have the cover on it because I'm working on it so much. And here is my latest print, and this is with me taking the entire print head assembly apart, putting it back together, making sure everything was tight, making sure that it was working properly, and it is still just stringing like crazy. And that's what I actually took it apart to fix last time. I don't know if my supports are even going to come off of here well. It's just a mess. And so ComGrow T500 out of the shop for now. It's going to go to the printer graveyard that's in my basement, and this one is gone. So what am I going to put here in its place? Well, I'm going to show you what's going to go here temporarily in its place, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But I also have several other machines that may be going here after what I'm about to show you. I've got a couple of the BLACK+DECKER Hurricanes that I could probably put side by side here, and given that a lot of this armor is actually modular and could be printed on a smaller machine, that might work here. I've got a second Ender 5 Plus that is most likely going to go here. I've got an Ender 6 that could go here. I have several machines that would make much better candidates. I still have my CR6 Max printer, and I think that's plenty big enough to print anything that's oversized in the X and Y direction. I still have my FL Sun V400 back here, which is just still a dream of a machine. It's printing anything that's tall, legs, arms, things like that. This is a fantastic machine for that. So I have plenty of capacity still to finish this armor up, but I need machines that are reliable. I need machines that are going to print things that I'm not going to have to spend a whole lot of time cleaning up and reprinting just because it's not working well. So if you were considering a ComGrow T500, take it off your list for now. It's not on my list anymore. This one's going into the basement. Again, FLSun V400 is over here. It is still working like a dream. I hope that FLSun will provide me their newer machines which just came out, but this is still a fantastic machine if you are looking for a large capacity, fast, reliable machine. I've done a little maintenance on it, of course. I've shown some feld prints on my other social medias, but overall it has been a great machine. None of the other machines I talked about in that video will be changing. So let's go ahead and talk about what needs to go in this place. I'm gonna get this one out of here and show you what I just bought. All right, ComGrow printer gone. BLACK+DECKER making an appearance. Yeah, that probably was unexpected. But basically, I've got these big Polymaker PA6 carbon fiber nylon spools that I'm going to be printing my armor out of, and it is the middle of the summer here in the southeast United States, and that means it is humid and it is hot, and these are going to need to be dried at a pretty regular basis, in my opinion, in order to print this successfully. In fact, I'm hoping even the 2 kilogram spools are going to work. So what do I need over here on this table? I need an oven to be able to dry these for the necessary up to 12 hours of drying time before they go into a dry box that I can actually print from. So I went on to Amazon and I looked for a toaster oven, a convection oven in particular, where the air would move around during the drying time period, and that I could put a convection oven here in the shop, be able to put my spools in there and run it for 12 hours. I did not want to put these nylon spools into my kitchen oven where we also cooked food. I didn't think that was a great idea. So I went on Amazon, like I was saying, and I found a large enough convection oven to actually hold these 2 kilogram spools, or at least that's what the information said. And then, since I was only using this for shop use and I didn't really care about what it looked like or how it had been handled, I looked into their slightly used or returned units on Amazon in order to save a little bit of money. So I got this, I think, $90 BLACK+DECKER unit for like 50 bucks. Saved me a substantial amount on here because this is one of their pre-loved, pre-returned, whatever you want to call it, units. And so I'm going to get this out of the box right here, get it set up on the table, make sure that these filament spools are going to fit it, and we'll show you how that looks and how that works in just 1 second. To be honest, it doesn't actually look like it's been used at all. I don't think it has. All the tape is still on it, all the packaging materials on it, so while it was from their warehouse deals, it looks brand new. All right. Toaster oven all assembled here. Put in the crumb tray and also put in the rack and the drip tray. I'm actually putting the drip tray in here mainly because I want it to kind of be a barrier between direct heat from those heating elements, and so that gives it a bit of a barrier. So I guess I need my filament. I'm going to see if it fits in here. It looks like I have plenty of room. Let's take a look. All right, the spool of filament, this one has been opened. It has been attempted to use, and it popped and it made all kinds of sounds because of water absorption. There's the spool, and that fits in there with very little room to spare. It's actually pretty good size. It fits in there. It doesn't get too close to any of the edges, which I absolutely love. So I should be able to come in here. It's got lots of heat settings. And one thing I actually liked about this one, it also has Celsius on it, which, as we know, most of 3D printing is in the metric system and in the Celsius scale. So I can do this. So if I want to do 100 degrees, I know where that's about going to be on this scale. This one has a stay on mode as well as a timer mode. So I can go to stay on, and that will just allow me to time it myself. Or I can come in here, and if I need an hour on it, I can do an hour on it. I have to say, I don't know. I might put an actual thermometer in here so that I make sure I'm at the right temperature. I don't know how much I trust this non-digital kind of analog dial. and I will make sure I leave a link to this toaster oven in the description below if you would like to try to get the same one. Again, I haven't done a lot of testing on it. I haven't done any testing on it myself yet, so don't take it from me yet that this is the right one, but it will give you an example of what I was looking for. It does hold a 2 kilogram spool of carbon fiber nylon. That's what I was looking for. I think that's going to be about does it. I think that's plenty. So if you want to follow along on my Ironman build, be sure to stay tuned to this channel. I'm going to do more vlogs like this. I'm actually going to do some videos talking about how I went about printing certain things, how I went about sizing and connecting, that kind of thing. And be sure to follow me on the Oasis Project channel as well if you care about the electronics that are going into the suit and the high-tech part of this suit, not just the 3D printing. And obviously there will be a link probably here on the screen as well as in the description to the Oasis Project, which is the software side of my Ironman build. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following along this channel. I'm going to put over here all the fantastic Patreon supporters that continue to support this channel as I struggle to get up content and focus on making sure that the work I'm doing is getting shared with you guys and that you can learn from my experiences. Thank you as always. This is Chris. This is Kersey Fabrications, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.